Hey, what's up guys? It is CSB Jinx here and I'm going to be telling some stories today. Um just well, this episode it's going to be a scary story. I might tell another story but so the first story it was one of my birthday. It was like my 10th birthday or something like that, birthday party, and me and three of my other friends were they were sleeping over at my house, and so I was just like, we were going to bed, and I kind of was feeling like my room was too packed. Like, I have a small room, and I didn't want everyone sleeping in my room. So we brought two cots out into the living room, and we just slept out in the living room. And so I woke up around in the middle of the night, and I just kind of lied there for a sec. My mouth was really dry, just kind of feeling like crap. I so I had a cup of water in my room, and I went to go into my room, and I I don't know. It might have been because I was tired, but I opened the door, and there was just it looked like an old lady, and I was like, wait a minute. Just kind of thought to myself, like, am I dreaming? Like, like, did I do drugs? Like, that's kind of what I was thinking. I didn't believe it. I rubbed my eyes. I turned around, did everything I could that kind of would have made it go away if I was just seeing things. And it just never did. And it was sitting on my bed. And at the time, my bed was in the middle of my room. Not in the middle, it was backed up against the wall, kind of in the middle of my room. And just the lady was just sitting on the bed, and I was super, like, scared. It was terrifying. Like, because it wasn't my mom or anything. It was too old to be my mom. It was not anyone in the house, and it terrified me, and I was just standing there, like, waiting for it to go away, and it just kind of smiled at me, and I was on the brink of pissing my pants. It was terrifying, and I went out into the living room, went back to bed, and I woke up the next morning, and I didn't really want to tell anyone, just because it was just too scary. And the weird thing was, nothing like that had really ever happened in the house before, and it was really, really scary. And I don't think I have even told my parents that, unless they're hearing me say it right now. And I don't know. I still really don't know if it was just me seeing things or anything. But then it was like, my friends and we just kind of stayed at my house until like 1 or 2 in the afternoon. And so at the time, we were making our garage into my brother's room, well, my brother and I's room, and or we were cleaning it out, like, it was cleaned out, and we were playing with Legos. Like, we had a workbench with like 4 huge buckets of Legos, and we were playing with the Legos, and my mom went to the store, and she was gone, and so we were just in the garage playing with Legos, like, we were home alone. Told us not to go anywhere, like, so I was standing there, and in my garage, like, there's the garage door, and you can walk in, and if you look straight, there is a door, like, that used to be my brother's old room, and it was like kind of an escape door in case of a fire. And I heard a bang, like, come from the room, and I turned and looked at my friend Kevin, He's like, yeah, I heard it too. And so I was like, it's probably just us hearing things. Like, I always seem to doubt it when it's happening. It happened like 4 or 5 more times. I'm like, you know what, if like I wondered like someone could be in the house or something. I went and checked. Nothing happened. Nothing was there. And so it couldn't have been my mom or my brothers. It couldn't have been them. So I was just kind of like, that's kind of weird. Like, I was a little scared, but it was daytime, and I was like, it's not that scary. I was with my friends. I was comfortable with it. And so then it was like, it happened, but it was a lot louder. And so I was freaking out, and my friend Kevin was like, Noah, like, seriously, go check the room next, like, right when we hear it. And I hear it, and I see this tall figure, and it was like a shadow pretty much. And it's just there for like 3.5 seconds, and then just goes out of the room. And like, you could see the door that leaves the room, and it wasn't there when it left the room. And it was terrifying, and my friends and I were so scared. Like, we were 10 at the time, just terrified. And there was no sun going in, and it wasn't my shadow, it wasn't Kevin's shadow, it wasn't my friend Ryan's shadow, it couldn't have been anyone's shadow. Like, it was honestly terrifying. Like, scariest thing. And what scared me most is that was a few years ago. And so I don't know if you guys have ever seen, I was watching Drifter's scary stories on YouTube of him playing games and talking about the scary stories. And he said something about the tall man with the hat that I saw. Like, said his wife's mom or grandma, something like that, saw it and said they were going on a trip, and that's who I saw. And then he had also said he saw an old lady too, which made me kind of think about that. And it was one of the scariest things that has ever happened to me. And I just didn't know how to feel about it. And so yeah, and stuff like that's like been happening. I've been seeing the old lady in like my dreams and stuff, just kind of nightmares, I think. Like, I had a nightmare a few months ago where I was sitting in my living room, and it was like a Thursday when it was happening, and when I was having the dream, and I look at my watch and it's 11, like, at night, and I was like, oh, I should be in bed. My mom's gonna get mad if she sees me out here watching TV. So I walk into my room, and at that time, which is now, my bed is in the corner of my room, like, and it's just a mattress on the floor, and I see the tall, like, figure with the hat on just standing over me at the end of my bed, just looking. And then it was the scariest thing. Like, I was watching myself sleep, and I was watching something watch me sleep, and I know it sounds really confusing, but it was really scary, and it was scary. It was terrifying. Like, there's no other way to explain it. It scares me so much. And like, one time I was at school, and it was weird. I'll tell the other story in another episode. But so that was really, like, I was super confused. I didn't know how to feel. Like, I was like, oh, it's just a nightmare. I told my friend, Kevin, the one who's been with me with most of them, about it, and he's like, oh, that's weird. He asked me if it was the same dude that was in the garage, and I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like, it was terrible. It was the worst feeling, like, you could ever have. And it was, I really, at the time, I didn't know if it was real life or not. Like, I thought it was real life when I was out in the living room watching TV. I didn't know it was a dream, and then I walked into my room. I pissed myself. It was the worst feeling. But so, that's all I have for today, guys. So,